Demeo Dungeons and Dragons, Battlemarked, bridges the gap between the structured, turn-based tactics of the Demeo system and the rich, familiar lore of the Forgotten Realms. From a single-player perspective, the experience is designed to replicate the feel of a full D&D tabletop session, eliminating the need for a dungeon master and placing the player in control of an entire 4-person party. Hello guys, Genuine here of Genuine Gaming, and here is my review of Demeo Dungeons & Dragons Battlemarked as a single-player game. Story and presentation. The game currently offers 2 substantial 10-hour campaigns, which serve as the primary single-player content. Campaign 1, Embers of Chaos. Set in Neverwinter and the surrounding Neverwinter Wood, the campaign immediately plunges the party into a tense political situation where the city of Neverwinter and the elves of Neverwinter Wood stand on the brink of war. The heroes must race to restore peace, not only to uncover a deeper, more sinister plot built on deception. This adventure demands that the party uncover the true enemy behind the escalating conflict, leading them to dark secrets in sacred spaces and eventually into the volcanic regions beneath Mount Hotenau. The story is an engaging race against time to prevent the regional war that may be the least of the city's problem. Campaign 2, Crown of Frost. Set in the frigid and unforgiving Icewind Dale far to the north. This campaign takes place shortly after the events of Embers of Chaos. Icewind Dale is bracing for war as mysterious forces amass an army at a location known as Frost Keep, threatening the spine of the world. The party must trek through the perilous cold, journeying from the downtrodden streets of the 10 towns to the dizzying heights of the spine of the world. Heroes battle cold hazards, dire wolves, giants, and the other frosty foes, working to uncover the conspiracy between the invasion and confront the ghosts of giants past. The storytelling is engaging, relying heavily on professional voice acting and choice-based narrative moments that use skill checks to propel the plot forward. Familiar D&D factions such as the Red Wizards and Shadow Druids ground the experience firmly in the Forgotten Realms lore, adding depth for veteran players. The inclusion of side quests provides welcome, if not always memorable, diversions from the main objective, offering necessary breaks in the campaign flow and opportunities for experience. Combat and gameplay. The game uses a digital tabletop presentation where characters are represented by beautifully rendered miniatures that move across grid-based maps. This moving miniature style, complete with voice-activated narrative and characters, captures the tactile joy of physical D&D sessions. Dice rolls, including the iconic D20 for narrative skill checks, determine success in and out of combat. Players choose from 6 fixed class or race combinations, each fulfilling a classic party role: a dragonborn paladin, a dwarf fighter, a human ranger, a tiefling rogue, a halfling sorcerer, and an elf bard. While traditional D&D allows deep character customization, Battlemarked focuses on the efficiency of the Demeo system. Customization is limited to your main character and centers on improving their core capabilities and utility. You can only tweak your secondary ability, as your class and primary ability scores are standardized to fit the tactical combat system. Your main characters level up persistently across runs, providing meaningful long-term progression. The game's combat mechanics are drawn primarily from the Demeo framework. While the game features familiar D&D terminology, the D&D combat rules are minimal, serving mostly as window dressing for the card-based action. Each character is granted 2 action points per turn. Actions are typically spent on playing card abilities, moving the character, or combining a move and a melee attack. Attack rolls utilize the custom Demeo dice, which displays simple icons for a hit, a miss, or a critical hit. Damage is relatively constant, adjusting only when facing enemies with specific resistances or vulnerabilities. This simple system, while straightforward, means that players accustomed to the detailed math of D&D's attack and damage rolls may find the system lacks depth. Initially, new players unfamiliar with the Demeo system might feel lost, but the in-game tutorial does an excellent job of teaching the simple rule set. The core simplicity can lead to some encounters feeling repetitive, relying heavily on the cards dealt to the player's hand. However, this repetition is often broken by intense difficulty of the encounters, where the party can quickly become overwhelmed by hordes of enemies, demanding precise tactical planning to survive. Graphics and optimization. This review is limited to the PC flat screen version. I am unable to test this game in VR since I do not have one. Demeo Dungeons & Dragons Battlemarked employs a visually charming and deliberate art style, faithfully translating the experience of a physical tabletop game into the digital realm. The characters and monsters are rendered beautifully as highly detailed, pre-painted miniatures. The environments are vibrant, multi-layered dioramas that feel authentic to the Forgotten Realms setting, featuring iconic locations like Icewind Dale and Neverwinter. The game maintains its digital board game feel, which is a key part of its appeal. The ability to smoothly zoom into the board reveals a surprising amount of detail in the environments and on the miniatures themselves. Effects for spells, attacks, and even the simple visual of the dice rolling and bouncing around the corridors all contribute to a crisp, clean, and polished presentation. The game's moderate graphical requirements combined with the publisher's technical polish result in superb performance on the PC platform. Using a high-spec laptop with AMD Ryzen 9, 32GB RAM, and an RTX 3070 GPU, the game runs flawlessly. The smooth performance on high-end hardware coupled with the game's relatively modest graphical needs confirms that it is likely well optimized for a wide range of PC specifications, making it highly accessible. GENeUINE VERDICT. Demeo Dungeons & Dragons Battlemarked delivers on its core premise, offering a streamlined, single-player version of a 4-person D&D tabletop session. It successfully translates the tactile charm of a miniature, movement, and dice rolls into a polished digital experience, complete with an excellent visual presentation. The game runs flawlessly on PC, making the vibrant dioramas and beautifully rendered miniatures a consistent pleasure to behold. The two expansive campaigns, Embers of Chaos and Crown of Frost, offers a substantial 20+ hours of narrative content. The engaging voice acting and commitment to the Forgotten Realms lore, highlighted by familiar factions, create a compelling sense of adventure. However, the game's core strength, its tactical simplicity rooted in the Demeo system, is also its main limitation. While the card-based action and easy-to-learn set rules are accessible, veteran D&D players may find the minimal implementation of D&D's detailed math and the limited character customization to be a letdown. The combat system, while requiring precise tactics to overcome the challenging enemy hordes, occasionally feels repetitive, relying heavily on the luck of the draw. All in all, I gave this game a 7.7 out of 10. Story and presentation, 7. Combat and gameplay, 7. Graphics and optimization, 9. This game is recommended for those new to tabletop tactics or D&D players who are looking for a satisfying, narrative-driven experience without the complexity of traditional D&D rules. For established fans of the Forgotten Realms, it offers a faithful, charming, and highly polished way to revisit iconic locations and lore. It is not a perfect substitute for a full D&D campaign, but as a digital tactical board game, Demeo Dungeons & Dragons Battlemarked stands as a great success. And by the way, if the price of the game does matter to you, this game is only priced at $29.99 US. I would say a pretty good game with the amount of price. Do not forget to like this video if this is helpful, and for more PC game reviews, tips, and guides, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Ciao!